There were a lot of tough challenges on this project. First, it was not easy to also find the money to finance French-German love story, and it's always very difficult to find money also for queer films because, yeah, I don't know, straight people don't get often to see queer films. So this film, Langue étrangère, Tandem, is about an exchange between two young girls, two young women. In fact, they are 17, one French girl and one German girl, and it's Austausch. They go. The French girl goes to the German family, and then the German girl goes to the French family. And they discover the culture, but also history of the family, the history of the country, and they kind of discover each other. And I don't want to say too much, but it's not a friendship story; it's more like a love story.
Fanny. Willst du was essen? Schon 14 Uhr.
Je comprends pas ce que tu dis.
Komm raus, es ist spät. Mama hat was zu essen gemacht.
Sors, il est tard et maman a préparé quelque chose à manger.
J'arrive.
Okay.
When I was a teenager, I used to make a lot of exchange. I went to USA, to England, to Germany, to Poland. It was really helpful for me because when I was a teenager, I probably wanted to escape, in a way, my family, but also the place where I was coming from. And I really appreciate to be able to travel and to reinvent myself somewhere else. It was very good experiences to me. So I wanted to make a film about it and then also to talk about maybe what it is to be young today in this very complicated world. So I use a lot of my memories as a teenager when I was doing exchange, but I'm really trying to also talk about the relationship between France and Germany today, but also about Europe, but mainly about what it is to be a young person right now in this world, with all the catastrophe people are talking about all day long. So it's a kind of portrait of what it is to be young today.
Fanny, guten Morgen. Hast du gut geschlafen? T'as bien dormi?
Non, pas trop.
Oh, mais c'est quoi le problème? Le matelas?
Non, le matelas, ça va.
C'est difficile au début, à cause de AMV.
C'est quoi? AMV?
Le mal de ton pays. Ça va passer.
Je sais pas. Chez moi, je dors très mal aussi, donc...
Bist du sicher, dass sie 17 ist? Wird er auf 12 tippen.
Lena dit qu'elle est stressée de parler français. Elle s'excuse pour ça.
Das stimmt nicht, das habe ich nicht gesagt. Ich
Hör
meinte...
auf mit dem Theater.
Désolée, je comprends un peu l'allemand, mais je le parle pas. Mais je croyais que toi, tu parlais français, non?
Oui, moi je parle ta langue.
Ça fait 8 ans qu'elle apprend à l'école. Et on a vécu 3 ans en Camargue quand elle était petite.
I didn't know how to embody this character of the German mother who's from Leipzig, And I didn't really know a lot of German actresses, of course, because I'm French. But I, of course, knew Nina Host, that I admired a lot. But I was, like a lot of French people, probably very impressed by her career, because she's always like this very clever woman, very also kind of cold in films, but very bourgeois also. And I didn't know if it could fit for the part, but of course I asked her because she's such a great actress, and she was really, I think, excited to maybe play something that you don't see her a lot of time in it. And she wanted to show how she was also capable of doing something else than this very cold character. And I met her in Berlin, and I understood that she was perfect for the role. And because also Nina is very, very funny, very smart. She's not the character that you can see in most of the films she played before, this very cold woman. She's someone very generous, and she's such a good actress. It was, since I met her for the casting, I was convinced, and of course she was very helpful with the film. She was very generous with the young actresses. She's really a great actress, but also a great person, I think.
Ça a commencé là. Les gens sont sortis dans la rue avec des pancartes en disant qu'ils avaient envie de voyager librement. Et tout de suite, la Stasi les a... comment on dit
Réprimé.
Oui, voilà. La Stasi a fait ça. Et le lendemain, les gens sont revenus. Et puis tout le monde est sorti dans la rue et...
Et le mur est tombé?
Oui. Ça t'intéresse, la politique?
Pas trop. Mais je suis forte en histoire. Enfin, j'aime bien ça.
Et maintenant, les Montagsdemonstrationen, c'est récupéré par l'extrême droite. Ça craint, non? Tu fais schrecklich.
It was a long process to find my leading actresses because I began to write during the COVID pandemic, and then it was not very easy to travel, not even to go to Germany, which is very close to France. But and then I had to use a lot internet to ask people to send me videos for the casting, and I don't really like to work like that. I really want to meet people and to work with them. So it was a long process also to discover how to find a young German actress that is able to speak French, but who could be very close to my character, Lena's character, which is the German young teenager in the film. And I discovered Josefa Heindius in Leipzig. She was studying in Leipzig at this time. I met a lot of young German actresses, but she was the one who never played before in a film, and she was very close to the character, and she had something very authentic, very natural, and she was very close also to the part of Lena, because she had this sensitivity, and she is still very idealistic. And the French one, Lilith Grasmug, she is already an actress. She played in a few movies, and I really liked the way she's able to be very complex, and she's already very technical as an actress. And the part of Fanny, the French girl in the film, is quite difficult because she's very anxious, but she has a lot of mystery, and she's lying a lot, so I needed a very confirmed and talented actress also for this part.
Je peux te parler d'un truc?
Oui.
Mon père, il a un enfant avec une autre femme. Il nous l'a dit il y a 2 ans, parce que sa fille l'a contacté. Et voilà, j'en ai jamais parlé à personne. elle est un peu plus âgée que moi. Et j'arrive pas à savoir si il l'a eu pendant que mes parents étaient ensemble ou pas. Mais je crois, oui. Mais il n'est pas très clair sur le sujet.
Mais tu l'as rencontrée?
Oui. Je l'ai vue une fois dans un café, c'était trop bien. Elle est vraiment trop sympa.
Ok.
Et en fait, elle est très engagée. Enfin, elle est dans un groupe d'ultra-gauche, très radical, libertaire, cool. Anarchiste, anticapitaliste, un peu anti-tout, quoi.
Ah.
Ouais.
The visual concept of the film was mainly to kind of invent an image. With my DOP, I worked a lot with him for a very long time. We've made all my film together. But because we were talking about youth, we didn't want to copy any image of another film. And so now there are a lot of, in post-production, there are a lot of possibilities also with the color, with the algorithm, and we wanted really to try something new. So we decided at the very beginning of the film to work on irisation, which is the way how the light is diffracting. So maybe you cannot really see it, but you feel it all the time in the film. It's very colorful, because I was also thinking that even if I'm making a film about anxiety of the young people today in this very dark world, I didn't want the film to be too dark, or I wanted it to be colorful, just like the youth is today. And also I wanted to work on this way the light is diffracting, because the film is also talking a lot about what is true, what is not, what it is to believe something or not, and this light thing, like in the rainbows, for example, or you know, the way the light is not the same when you are in another point of view, is very interesting for me and for the film, because it's also talking a lot about point of views in the film. So it's a long process, but we worked a lot on this visual thing.
Ist doch ganz gemütlich. Et voilà. Tu as réussi à la faire entrer dans mon jacuzzi. Bravo.
Je l'ai supplié.
Je peux rester avec vous un petit peu? Les jumeaux vont nous rendre visite bientôt. Émile et Oscar, les fils de Tobias?
Je les adore.
Oui, ça va être sympa. Ils viennent prendre quelques affaires et on va dîner tous ensemble.
Mit Tobias?
Ja.
Bist du sicher, dass du damit klarkommst?
Kleines Problem gibt's schon.
Was denn?
Oma und Opa kommen auch noch. Wir haben dich selbst eingeladen. Ich konnte wirklich nicht Nein sagen. Ich meckere nicht. Oma möchte ich auch mal wiedersehen, möchte die Kleinen sehen. Opa will rencontrer Fanny.
Aber ist das schon ein bisschen schräg, oder? Wissen Sie denn, dass du nicht mehr mit Tobias zusammen bist? Hast du ihnen erzählt?
Mehr oder weniger habe ich es ihnen gesagt, ja. Dass du wieder mich stresst.
Ich?
Ja. Stresst mich immer so, wenn meine Eltern kommen. Stimmt's nicht?
Keine Ahnung. Vielleicht.
The music of the film was composed by Rebecca Warrior. She's a famous musician in France, but also very alternative. I was really fond of her for a long time now, and we worked maybe 5 years ago on a video clip together. It was an amazing collaboration. I really liked it, and we decided to work on this film together. It was very important because the film also is trying to understand what it is to what is language? How can we understand each other? How can we talk to each other, even in different languages, and understand each other? So it was also a lot, not only about words, but also about emotions. And of course, the music is very important when you are talking about emotions. And Rebecca really worked a lot on this soundtrack, and she was also very inspired by Germany. I mean, she's an artist that made music, for example, in a band called Compromat, and the first album was half in German, half in French, and she's very influenced by German music, like techno music, but also cold waves, and so she really worked on this soundtrack, like putting like German influences, but mix it with French influences, and trying to really find the language of the two characters. It was a very, very interesting work with her. I was really passionate by the work with her. For the music of the film, she composed at the very beginning, before I was shooting the film, one score, because I was shooting in Leipzig, and Leipzig is the city of Bach also. And I don't know, we were inspired by this, so she composed in the very beginning, before the shooting, a first score, and then it evolved a lot, and then she was also composing really with the image when we were editing, with also the personality of the actresses. It was several levels and several steps work together.
Coucou. T'as mis un portable pour venir au Parlement, toi? C'est fou l'énergie que tu mets à me faire chier. Bon. Tu t'occupes de la visite, mais il faut que j'y retourne. Comme il y a des discussions dans l'hémicycle, vous pourrez pas rentrer.
Bah, on te rejoint à l'aquarium.
Oui.
C'est quoi ta cabine?
22.
Ok. En gros, ces escaliers, c'est censé symboliser la réconciliation de la France et l'Allemagne, le couple franco-allemand, tout ça. C'est trop beau de dire le couple. Chez nous, on parle plutôt de l'amitié franco-allemande. On dit deutsch-französische Freundschaft. C'est la télé polonaise. Bien.
Jak będzie zawsze, przynajmniej teraz.
Warschau! Mój ciał, mój wybór! My body, my choice!
Pani jest.
It was also challenging, maybe more than I was thinking, to be able to make the French and the German crew work together. Also because we really don't have the same way to work. In the cinema industry in France, we have a very specific way to work, and the German, they work maybe more like the Americans. So we had to find a common language and references to be able to work together. And it was quite challenging also.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Enterrement, Leipzig, c'est en Allemagne. Son grand-père est mort, c'est ma correspondante. Du coup, on y va 4 jours avec ma mère. Et on revient après. Okay. Tiens, au revoir.
There are so many versions, of course, in my head, because I'm also editor. I studied editing at school, so I was very, very involved in the process of editing. So in my head, there are so many versions of this film, but the version that is released right now, it's of course the end of a process, of a long process and long work to really focus on the two characters of the two girls, because it's mainly the portrait of those two young actresses. And I feel like it's the director, Scott. But of course, there are also a lot of things I shot for the film that are not in the film right now, that I miss a little bit. But you know, it's also the way it is. In the film, when they are very personal, you put so much of you and so much ideas, but then you have to also simplify things to talk to the audience.